Welcome to our presentation that focuses on using visual expression in lifespan motor development courses to demonstrate knowledge of foundational concepts. First, we would like to acknowledge that the UBC Point Grey campus is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. A major premise of our presentation deals with the concept of visual literacy. Visual literacy has never been so important. We are currently in an era that is characterized by an unprecedented influx of visual content. Visual literacy plays an important role across academic disciplines and in clinical practice. This means that post-secondary courses at both undergraduate and graduate levels need to consider structuring components of course delivery for the acquisition of visual literacy skills. Visual expression can also be used to assess level of student understanding of academic concepts. But what is visual literacy? Visual literacy refers to the ability to identify and interpret, critically analyze, and create visual messages. This encompasses a wide array of skills, from understanding visual representations to effectively communicating through visual media. The first skill of visual literacy is being able to identify the visual content required to effectively communicate the purpose and context of an idea, concept, or message. Visual literacy requires one to source and select credible and contextually appropriate visual content from diverse repositories, including digital archives, online databases, and multimedia platforms. Learners also need to acquire the capability for visual analysis. This entails the systematic examination and interpretation of visual content to identify underlying meanings, themes, and strategies within the visual representation. Learners need to know how to critically assess the effectiveness, relevance, and impact of an image in relation to its strengths and limitations for conveying an intended message and the desired audience responses. Learning how to use an image effectively is also a key component. This skill requires the strategic integration of visual content to represent a message with clarity. A major skill is also the capability to visual encode information. This means the individual can create a visual message that conveys a specific meaning. Finally, learners must acquire visual ethics. This means one must act morally and ethically in the production, consumption, and dissemination of visual content. In this presentation, we will focus on a post-secondary assignment that provides students an opportunity to practice various components of the visual literacy process while also demonstrating an understanding of foundational motor development concepts. We will now share a visual creation assignment that we have successfully implemented in an introductory level course of lifespan motor development across 2 kinesiology degree programs. We refer to this assignment as the photo voice assignment. Students are asked to engage in a modified photo voice activity to demonstrate understanding of course content through self-reflection and by translating their ideas using visual expression. Every semester, we identify foundational motor concepts to focus the assignment on. Generally, a choice of 3 options are provided to students. For example, one option may be to show understanding of quantitative versus qualitative developmental change in motor development. Another option may be to show understanding of the developmental paradox of universality versus variability. A different option may be to focus on the concept of a normative historical graded influence on motor development. During the semester, students are asked to critically scan their own environments looking for these concepts in the real world. The objective is to identify an aspect of the environment that represents the motor development concept that the student has chosen for the assignment. They are then asked to capture their observations by taking photographs. Students review their photographs and choose one that best represents their chosen option. The visual is then supplemented by providing an explanation that discusses how the image represents the concept. The written response follows a 3-component criteria. For example, explain how your visual demonstrates the cephalocaudal principle in motor development. Now discuss the impact of what is being represented in your visual on holistic development. Finally, reflect on your image and discuss how it impacts you on a personal level and/or connects to your own lived experiences. Students are encouraged to be creative as their ideas can be represented in any number of ways, from abstract to literal form. Photographs need to be taken in the present and based on interactions with their personal environment. Students must also consider and follow ethical guidelines for taking and using visual images. We have also modified this assignment to examine the importance of the land and how the land contributes to your current stage of development and the way you move. This approach honors indigenous knowledge systems. It provides an opportunity for students to learn the importance of the connection to land for motor development and holistic health and wellness. Discussing motor development from a land-based approach provides an opportunity for students to examine how movement is a holistic experience, encompassing the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual domains of health and well-being. In this approach, students are asked to scan their environment and capture a photo that best represents how the land contributes to their current stage of development and the way they move. They are asked to explain how their visual demonstrates the concept of connecting to land through their movement for holistic human development. So, what do students say about this assignment? We have implemented different forms of this assignment over the last 5 years. Collectively, students have viewed the assignment as engaging and motivating, and also increased their knowledge base in the area. Students have said,
"As far as assignments go, I found it to be fun and interesting. I now look for concepts we do in class everywhere I go."
I actually finished the assignment a day before it was due.
I don't think I will ever forget the difference between continuity and discontinuity. I will always think of my photo.
From an instructor's perspective, students demonstrate a deeper level of understanding of content materials, more active engagement with course content, and improved capability to convey complex ideas, greater cultural diversity in students' work, increased awareness of the world, greater adherence to assignment deadlines, and greater retention of course materials. After several years of implementation, we find that students acquire a deeper level of understanding as it relates to foundational knowledge of motor development concepts. Moreover, this type of assignment provides students an opportunity for individualized expression, self-reflection, and an opportunity to build visual literacy and knowledge translation competencies. These are important factors for the education setting and beyond. Integrating visual literacy into educational curricula and professional training programs is an important means for equipping individuals with the skills necessary to thrive in a visual-centric world.